You don't know everything about me. I've lived a lot of lives.
What's up, movie buffs? I'm Jeremy, and movies are terrible. And I'm joined here with special guest Holden Hardman to talk a little bit together about Black Widow, because you've talked about it, I've talked about it, but we haven't talked about it.
Man, I've seen it twice now. I did not hear what you had to say about it yet. So what did you think about Black Widow?
I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop. You know what I mean? Like,
when's the Incredible Hulk 2 coming out? Yeah.
I thought Black Widow could have very easily been that thing. A lot of people are like, it's kind of pointless because we already know the fate of Black Widow, which I do believe kind of kills the suspense at certain times.
I disagree with that. We'll come back.
But I like the characters. I like the beginning. I like the kind of darker tone and how they're still able to balance that with humor. I felt the ending was a little underwhelming, and I really don't care about the Taskmaster reveal, Holden.
I agree with a lot of those sentiments. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it my second watch through. Yelena obviously is a standout star.
I swear if I hear one more word from him, I will kick him in the face.
Red Guardian also is a surprise.
They think.
Scarlett Johansson, I feel like kind of almost took a passenger seat.
My plan was to drive us away.
It's a shit plan.
Which was surprising, may have been intentional to kind of ease us out of getting used to seeing her. When it comes down to, well, we know she dies in Endgame, so what are really the stakes? Knowing like where it takes place, that type of thing doesn't really bother me any more than knowing the Titanic sinks before I watch the movie Titanic. I want to see like the journey. It doesn't really bother me knowing that she's not going to die. We've been doing this forever because we know actors' contracts to movies. Yeah. We know that Chris Evans is going to be 6 movies, so we know he's not going to die in Civil War or whatever. I don't think it's any different in that regard. I will say that I think when I did my review with Jen, we didn't really talk a whole lot about Taskmaster. I was surprised that it was revealed to me because I know Taskmaster as being male, so I was like, oh, so I didn't see that coming, that Taskmaster was the daughter. I do think they kind of wasted that character a little bit because I feel like that whole arc of Taskmaster is pretty much done. She was released from the mind control thing. And so is Taskmaster going to come back? And if so, would Taskmaster even be evil? I just feel like there's a lot of potential for Taskmaster to go up against Marvel's best because Taskmaster knows all the moves and stuff. Overall, I feel like Black Widow was a super strong opening. This like really strong 20-minute James Bond style opening, shot great, wonderful stunts, a pretty solid middle where we're kind of getting back with the family, introduced to Red Guardian. It's a little slower. The end, I felt that maybe a little too drawn out. I didn't mind the whole falling thing, although there's this part of me that's like, how would you even survive that? There were several times where like Black Widow falls like 5 stories, hitting things on the way and just lands. Well, for visually speaking, I think that it looked excellent. I think it looked great, the whole sequence, but maybe just a little too much.
When Steve and Buck fall from 5 stories and hit everything on the way down, you can accept it's because they've been through the super soldier program. With Black Widow, it's been established time and time again, she's a human. So I didn't necessarily love, and it's not like it's the first time she's achieved superhuman feats or something like that, but it seemed particularly egregious this time around, especially when the first half of the film felt so grounded. Like, I really like the prison break. I just felt it escalates too much. It gets too big, but then there's an expectation from audiences that superhero movies need to be big. But unfortunately, I feel like the bigger it gets, the smaller the stakes feel. And you bring up a great point. It's like when we know that these actors are locked in for multiple deals, or even if a movie's called Captain America, you can be pretty sure Captain America's not going to die in it. I just guess that, because this one is kind of passing off the torch to Yelena, there is a multiverse version of this movie where Natasha dies at the end of this, which thrusts Yelena's arc forward, you know?
Yeah. In the last video, we talked a lot about the Loki stuff and all the various. Yeah. I mean, in one universe, Natasha is Taskmaster, you know?
When I watched the movie, there was a moment that I was kind of like, well, we never really got to see Taskmaster do all that much with their powers. We saw her emulate Black Panther, Steve Rogers, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. As I was going down the list, I was thinking there's really nobody else that she could have done it with, right? Because everybody's power set's so specific. It's not like she can learn how to fight like the Hulk and then be as strong as the Hulk. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I feel like they could have opened up with a little bit maybe of Iron Man's gadgets, because Taskmaster was decked out in gadgets and, you know, the little visor thing. So maybe some more of that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a person, you know, in the suit, just like a super enhanced person.
You're right about the fact that it could just, if that's Taskmaster's arc, then it definitely underserved the character. But I feel like, because again, it's almost like a training program. Like we saw how many Black Widows there were running around. Maybe we get a male version of Taskmaster in the next adventures. I mean, I feel like because it's not so much an identity as it is a costume and a training thing, that they could go that way.
The gender bend thing also didn't really bother me. I know some people are really touchy about that kind of thing. Didn't really bother me. Maybe if I knew the character a little bit better, I would have preferred. I mean, like if they revealed Spider-Man in the MCU and it was like Pietra or something, Pietra Parker, I'd be like, I don't know about that. But because I don't have like as deep a connection, doesn't really bother me. I want to kind of go back to your point you were making about how the stakes kind of keep getting bigger and bigger, and that's kind of what we're expecting from Marvel movies. I feel like it's the Dragon Ball Z effect, where every season they reach a new power scale, but the villain therefore needs to be even more powerful. Now we're like literally at beyond God tier in Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. Same thing. I don't mind the stakes not being an Avengers level threat. You know, especially I think when you introduce new characters like they're going to be doing with Shang-Chi, and like they're going to be doing with the Eternals, which by the way, the Eternals are very, very powerful. I don't mind it. Like every single conflict doesn't have to be Dormammu going to destroy the fabric of time. So I'm really more interested in the characters and kind of these learning about them and what they can do and where they come from, and build up sort of that same formula that they've been doing. You know, let us meet the characters and then have the big threat later that they all can deal with. I don't know. I've been enjoying that formula so far.
When I walked out of this movie, I was very positive on most everything that I saw. It was after talking with viewers like you that I started to realize, like, yeah, maybe there are some cracks in the sheens. Maybe there are some things that I was generous on, that maybe I would have picked them apart if they were in a movie like Wonder Woman 2 or some Warner Brothers property that you guys think that they're the only things I crap on, which is not true. I crap on everything.
It's not true. That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, unless anything else you want to touch on before we finish this up.
I think that's it, man. Make sure you watch. I know, Jeremy, you did a Black Widow kind of review shortly after you watched it on your channel. Jen and I, we did a reaction/review on my channel if you want to check that out.
Yeah, and make sure that you check out our Loki reaction and reviews respectively. You can find, well, just check our channels. I'll post a description.
Just in general.
Yeah.
just check them out.
And if you want to stay up to date, if you want to stay up to date with all of the terrible content over here on the Movies Are Terrible YouTube channel, all you got to do is subscribe, click the bell to enable notifications. And then when those notifications inevitably don't come through, you just check back every couple of days. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, click that thumbs up button. And until next time, and on behalf of both me and Holden, be terrible.